If you want to get hired as a recent bootcamp grad, you need to be able to showcase your skills and experience. And the best way to do that is by building a portfolio, a great portfolio that stands out. Let me help you with that process. Getting your first job when changing careers can be scary. How do you prove that you're a worthy candidate? Besides, this job is going to be the hardest one to get because you're new to the industry. You don't have a track record of working for other companies that can vouch for your work. This is where a portfolio comes in. It helps you showcase your work and your experience, what projects you've worked on, and prove that you're a strong candidate. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through how you can create your portfolio website and also share some tips on how to make a portfolio that truly stands out. Before we get into it, I want to thank Wix for sponsoring this video. Wix is a website builder that gives you the freedom to create, design, manage, and develop your online presence the way you want to. It enables you to create beautiful custom websites and provides a ton of features that will support your personal brand. I'll walk you through the process of creating your portfolio using Wix so that you can see how it works behind the scenes. Learn more about Wix and start building your portfolio website today using the link in the description. When building your portfolio, you need to be crystal clear on its purpose as well as who will be the target audience for this website, because this will dictate what is the user experience going to be like and what you're going to put on this website. So let's do some planning. Think through the following things. I'd even recommend writing them down. The first one being, what is the purpose of your portfolio? Most likely it's to get hired, but I encourage you to add more details to that. Think of the niche of the industry that you'd like to work in. For example, you want to do data analytics in sports, or you might want to be a software developer for a travel company. Niching down will help you customize your portfolio further, as well as differentiate yourself and showcase personality. It also helps if, for example, before this career switch, before this bootcamp, you are coming from that industry. If you have experience and knowledge of the industry from a non-technical standpoint. And if you don't have a specific industry or niche in mind, don't let that stop you. Just simply write down something like, I want to get hired as a front-end developer as your purpose for your portfolio. The second thing that I want you to think through is, who is the end user for this website, for this portfolio? Since you're trying to get hired, it's most likely going to be recruiters who look through thousands and thousands of portfolios and resumes a day. Keep that in mind throughout this whole designing process. Try to get into their shoes and create an experience that will help them understand your skills and get to know you quickly. Don't overcomplicate things or confuse them. Create a delightful experience for them. And the third thing that I want you to think through before designing your portfolio is, what are your goals for your portfolio? And the three main goals that I have identified that most portfolios have in common are the first one being to showcase your work, to showcase your experience, the projects you've worked on, to basically showcase that you know what you're doing, you have the skills, etc. Second one, to communicate your skills and their levels, whether it's soft, technical, or transferable. And finally, to brand yourself. You want to make sure that your portfolio is addressing all of the goals that you have set for your portfolio while keeping your purpose and the target audience in mind. Those factors combined will dictate what projects you showcase, how you structure the navigation, and how you tell your story. Make sure that you're intentional about these things because you will only have a few minutes to communicate whatever you're trying to communicate with a recruiter while they're skimming your website. Now that we have clarified all these points, let's start designing your portfolio. And while your portfolio is going to be unique and communicate your personality through the designs, there are certain pages or sections that you should absolutely have. The first one being the About Me page. The second one is projects, and the third one being contact information. So let's build a mock portfolio together, going page by page or section by section. You're the designer here, starting with the About Me page. I will now switch to my laptop and share my screen as I build those pages in Wix. All right, so I have just created my account with Wix, and let's get started answering some questions that will help them cater the designing process for me. And now let's choose a template. This is super exciting. I love choosing templates. I also normally spend way too much time on that. So let's find one that looks good. Oh, there's so much good stuff. You know what? I like this one. Let's do that. I love the fact that it has all of these different sections. So as you can see here, we're in the home page, and you can navigate to the 9 projects that this person is displaying. And this is the menu where you can see all of the different, these are anchors. So basically if I press on this, it will take you down to that section where the projects are listed. And here are the links to the different projects. And here are also the different pages. All right, and this is where you control the page background. There are some pre-existing backgrounds here. You can also choose color or a video or an image, so many different things. You can add different elements to your page. Theme Manager is where you can set your colors. The app market has basically a ton of different apps that you can add to your page, for example, an Instagram feed. You also have your media in one place. You can upload things, or you can take things from social media or your Google Drive. You can add a blog to any page. And finally, there's a set of tools that helps you manage your business, from marketing and SEO to finances or customer management, which is amazing. Like all of the forms and basically a CRM and all that stuff. It's awesome. All right, let's go back to the website and back to the About page. Your About page is the space to introduce yourself. Tell your story, your passions and motivations. And also you can connect your social media accounts if you feel like they will position you the way you want to be positioned. Don't make it a novel, but don't make it too dry either. This is the space where you can show personality and tell the story of why you decided to switch careers and go into programming. Make sure that you also talk about your background and experience before going into tech. What transferable skills do you have? Anyone who changes careers has a unique experience and a unique perspective to bring to the table. So make sure that you showcase that. Make sure that you tell your unique story. And if you have experience in the industry that you're trying to get into, let's say you want to do data analytics and sports, if you're coming from the sports industry, make sure that you highlight that. That's the space for it. Tell your unique story and what makes you a wonderful candidate. This is also the place where you can communicate your skill level, and you should communicate your skills. However, if you've only written hello world in a programming language, don't put that on your resume, because you will get tested on your technical skills. At least it is very likely that you're going to get tested, and lying on your resume or portfolio is just not a good look. Let's go to the About section. I always put Montserrat as my text, so let's just keep it like that. Since this is a mock portfolio website, I'm going to add Cupcake Lorem Ipsum because that's my favorite, Lorem Ipsum. But this is what it would look like. All right, let's add an image. Let's just go to my social images. Let's connect my Instagram to this because this will make things so much easier for me. Let's choose this image. I like it. I think it's good. I love how easy it is to drag and drop. All right, so let's say that I have entered that Cupcake Lorem Ipsum tells my story, my motivation, what I want to work in, essentially, and my background. Of course, yours might be longer than gingerbread cotton candy cheesecake. Let's add list and grids. Let's add my skills. I have changed the colors of the theme. It's very easy. All you need to do is, I'll show you, 1 second. Let me just put this one in there. Here it is. Okay, so here it is. All you need to do is press on this and then find the color, or add a hex number or whatever, and you're good. Oh my God, this is just such a pleasure to work with. You don't have to worry about margins or anything else. And guess what? It's going to look great on mobile too. And you know what you could do here? An interesting thing that you can do with the skills here is actually link the button to the project that highlights your experience in that. I think that would be a really neat idea there. Wonderful, my About Me page is done. This is my technical skills, this is my story. You can also add other things. I just wanted to showcase how I would do it and how Wix works at the back end. Now onto the projects page. All right, so we already have pages for the different projects, but we also have a section that's called projects. Let's go there. So I know it's going to be tempting to list all of the projects that you have worked on. I mean, you're proud of all of them, right? But I urge you to be selective and only display the ones that you think are relevant to your purpose, to the recruiter, to your target audience, and also to your goals. Make sure that you're selective when it comes to the projects that you display. Since this is a mock one, let's manage media. Let's only display 3 for now. You can always add more later, but let's display 3 for now. So I don't have much imagery in my library here. However, I know that stock imagery is always useful. Obviously, use images of your projects if possible. So let's check out what Wix has in terms of stock imagery. Let's do that pie one. We have a dessert theme going on anyway, so let's do that. Let's actually add titles to these projects. Let's just say cherry pie. All right, so it can link to page, and then let's say it's project 1. We're going to go to project 1 after that. Okay, so we have created our projects and we are basically displaying them on this page. We don't want to overload this page too much because we want to make sure that there's a way to overview what's out there, and that's also true for every single individual page. Another thing that I wanted to say here is when selecting your projects and when outlining your projects, make sure that you don't save the best for the last. If the recruiter doesn't get hooked, if they don't get interested by your projects, by the projects in your portfolio straight away from the very first 1 or 2, they're not going to stay for dessert. So there's no reason to keep your best projects until the last. Make sure that you select the projects that work the best to showcase your work. That's focus. That's the focus here. All right, so now let's look at the individual pages of these projects, and they have been pre-created here, so I don't have to worry about it. Actually, let's go and delete the ones that I don't want. My iPad has died, so I'm going to shoot from this camera now. So here I'm going to add a little project summary. I'm going to do that with my favorite cupcake, Lorem Ipsum. Let's actually extend it like this, and then let's change image. There it is, there's my cherry pie. Here you can add a screenshot of a page or something like that. One more thing that you absolutely should do when it comes to your projects is you should add live links when possible. So live links to a project that is currently live. So for example, let's add a button actually. Let's add a button here to lead to that project. And I'm going to lead that project to my newsletter. Why not? My latest edition of the newsletter. This is just, I like this one. This is nice. I'm just going to adjust the... And here you can add anything. So and you can even decide how it's going to open for you. So I have a link for the Women Tech Weekly newsletter that I want to add. Actually, I prefer this design. Let's save this. So in this section, we want to provide more context, the story behind why you created this, why you worked on this project, right? Maybe even add a problem solution statement. Let's do that. Problem. And now I'm going to select these two and duplicate them because I'm going to follow the same structure here. I'm going to move this guy down here, and here we're going to do solution. I really like this structure because it gives someone a clear overview of why you did something that you did and why it is important at the end of the day. Because, you know, like building something, great. But why did you build it? What was the reasoning behind it? I think that's very important. Okay, and let's add a line, themed lines. Actually, this might be a little too much text. We're going to separate it and we're going to put a GIF in there. A GIF or a GIF. And I'm just going to drag and drop it. And there it is, it's uploading. There it is. So here you can add a GIF or something like that from your project. I highly recommend instead of just copy and pasting screenshots of code to make it more interactive, to show you working on the project. So for example, maybe if you have a picture of you writing the code, that might be more interesting. Or if you brainstorming something with a whiteboard or sticky notes, or if you have a GIF of you know, like how your first function, when it worked, like if you recorded what it looked like. It's very fun to showcase that, and I highly recommend adding engaging features to your portfolio. So I'm just going to add this here. All right, great. So I have customized this page, and it's all here. Move this down a little bit. I'm going to reduce the size of this image. It might be a little too much for my liking. Great, I love this. Let's manage pages and go duplicate it. Instead of going to every single page over there, I'm just going to copy my style that I've already created and just adjust the photo and adjust the text. Well, in my case, I'm going to keep it as the cupcake lorem ipsum. But in your case, this is a simple way to make sure that the design looks the same everywhere. But obviously, make sure that you enter the information about the actual project. Manage media and change the links so that everything works. So this one's linked correctly. Then linked page, we have fruit pie. So in your time, obviously customize all of those pages, but this is great. We have that page, and now let's get to the contact page. When it comes to your contact information, you want to list as many ways to contact you as possible. And of course, you need to make sure that you're checking those methods of contacting you. So list your email, list your LinkedIn, list your social media if you check the DMs, list your professional phone number if you have one and if you're comfortable with listing it, because again, it becomes public domain, and then add a form like this one. But make sure that you check every single one of those methods. So here we have contact, we have this little form, we have social media and email. Let's customize it a little bit. This is such a convenient way to link things because not only can you link it to a web address, a page on the website, an anchor, which is basically a section. So for example, if you press on that button, it goes to one of these sections that we have put an anchor on. Just all of these different things, and then email. Or you can upload a document. So for example, if you want to upload your resume, you're able to do that super quickly, and actually that's a very good idea. So maybe in the About Me section, you should think about uploading your resume. It's always a great idea. Okay, so email, you can even add a subject line straight away. So just like codes in the subject line, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it as is. Then I'm going to add some social links. There's so many ways to customize your website further. I just wanted to show you how to create these 3 sections that are absolutely necessary for any good portfolio. Those are some basic musts of a good portfolio that stands out. I hope my tips were helpful and that you've enjoyed creating a mock portfolio with me. And if you're ready to start working on your portfolio, make sure to check out Wix using the link in my description. My final piece of advice for you is this. Don't overcomplicate the process and wait until you can code this website from scratch. This will only become an obstacle and delay you from getting hired. So just start your website with Wix already. The link is in the description. Let me know in the comments if you have a niche or an industry that you'd like to work in, and if you've enjoyed my tips. Also, if you have anything else to add, please do so in the comments. I would be super curious to see what advice you have for fresh bootcamp grads when it comes to building their portfolio. Like this video if you've enjoyed it and share it with your fellow bootcamp students. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and we can also be friends on other social media. You can find me as Coding Blonde. Have a wonderful time today you're currently experiencing. Bye.